I first heard about Humans from my agent. I think the words were something like, it's about robots. And I immediately thought, oh, I don't know if that sounds like my kind of thing. And I had visions of sort of steel, beings. And then as soon as I read it, I thought, oh no, this is exactly my kind of thing, because it's a really clever combination of sci-fi, but rooted in a domestic, very recognizable world. And we weren't made out of metal. So I read the scripts and I thought they were the most interesting scripts I'd read in a really long time. Before we started filming the very first series, we had a nice long stretch of time at the studios with Dan O'Neill, our movement director, and we just went through stage by stage, kind of building up the process of how a synth might move. Dan came with some ideas, but we worked some out kind of by doing it. So looking at what was the most efficient way of moving and considering what would conserve our battery power the most.
Hi, thank you for joining us today. We're testing a new prototype of the Emily model. We've made some adjustments. What we're doing is we're just charging her up now, and when she's fully charged, we're going to take her through some basic tests to ensure that the product is the quality that we expect here and that she's ready for the market. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
My name is Dan.
Hello, Dan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Emily. I'm going to take you through some tests. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. If you'd look forward, please, Emily. So the first thing we look for is obviously vocal and face recognition. That package is working clearly as we'd expect at this stage. Okay, so I guess the job of a movement director as opposed to a choreographer, I'd say it's easy to say what a choreographer is, and then we can work out what the movement director is from that. So a choreographer, I always feel, is someone who is creating essentially dance or movement, and will often have a distinctive signature or style. Like an artist, like a painter, you'll be able to recognise their work. As a movement director, as opposed to a choreographer, I'm working with the bodies and with the context and with the story and the narrative and with the director on how best to tell that story, but within our constraint in this situation is synthetic.
Hello. I'm now in setup mode and ready for primary user bonding.
I'm the primary user, Joseph Hawkins. Joe.
A DNA sample will be taken for identification and security purposes. This information will never be shared with any third-party organization. Hello, Joe. I'm now securely bonded to you as my primary user. It's very nice to meet you.
That means she's ours.
Okay.
Yay!
A bit like a car, there's a basic format. The car has wheels and a steering wheel, whether it's made 100 years ago or now. They've pretty much got the same basic stuff. And all synths have the same basic rules, which is they stand in parallel, there's a certain eye line, there's a certain alignment of the body, carriage of the arms, the way they walk. And that's taught to the actors prior to filming. And I was thinking, well, what's the examples of really great machines for us out there in the world? And it's kind of us, actually. We're sort of the most sophisticated piece of kit out there, as far as I can see. And so I thought, well, why don't we just center it on the human body and just get the human body to work as efficiently as was designed.
Suddenly everything, there's a way to make that decision. So if you're standing up, rather than thinking how might an imaginary robot that we've never heard of before stand up, you have the starting point of what's the most economical way to stand up that will use the least battery power.
They're programmed to be working ahead all the time. So she, before she stands, will know what that feels like almost as a machine. And she'll stand in her exact height. If I stood up, I'd probably pass my height and then slump down. But Emily, as you will see, will stand to her perfect synth height and return to the seat exactly as she was before, hopefully. And would you stand, please, Emily? And would you sit, please, Emily? I have peripheral vision right out here, 175 degrees, possibly 170 degrees. But we figured they'd be more like cameras and if you try to do that with a lens, it would start distorting and bending. So we thought there were two CCTV kind of cameras, like 120 degrees each. So a synth can't just glance and see Tom over there with the boom. I'd have to see him and then see you. The eye line is really what I would call the third eye, like in a mystical way. Her gaze is directly into our eye line. So if you'd look to your left, please. I'm now going to ask her to look all the way to the right, and hopefully there won't be little pictures taken on the way. She'll just see immediately what needs to be seen on the right-hand side. And look to your right, please. And back to the centre. And blink. And blink. As you can see, the eyelids work together. We tend to, as humans, just use our upper eyelid. And if we slow that motion down, if you could close your eyes, please, Emily. And both eyelids will pop open and she'll be in focus immediately. And open. That's great. That's working really, really well. Your chin is down and your eye line is straight. It means I can see someone's feet without looking at them. So this eye line was useful to argue a case for health and safety for the synths, but also it gave us a particular gaze that is very straight into the human eye. It's something that we're not used to, which means that the actors initially, the human actors, were very disconcerted by this steady, unblinking gaze.
One thing that's been really interesting is the status that being a synth in public gives you. If I walk down the street, I always seem to be the person that's dodging out the way and being like, oh, sorry, excuse me. If you just walk down the street as a synth, people move out of your way because your intention is so clear that I am going from here to there, that other things just sort of happen around you. And I noticed that if I try and speak as a synth, not using any superfluous words and ums and ahs and so on that I do normally. Well, I suppose people probably find it a bit frightening and intimidating, but it definitely feels like you sort of get your point across really quickly and clearly, and people are more likely to do what you say.
Hello, Mrs. Hawkins. I am Stanley.
I'm happy for you. Have you got a parcel, or...?
I've been appointed by Her Majesty's government to act as your domestic and professional assistant, personal security detail, and driver for the duration of the Dryden Commission. It's very nice to meet you.
The real acid test for me is if you think they're synthetics without doing the green eyes. And it's that other quality that I think the producers were really looking for and the directors were looking for. We have broken some of the conventions on occasions, but we've always found a rationale for that and not broken the key ones, because I think once you do that, it's very hard to put it back together again and build the trust that this thing is real, although we're doing, obviously, a drama. It does also know some trivia, so let's just see if this package is working while she's up. Emily, do you know what the weather is going to be like today?
The weather in London today will be lows of 4 degrees and highs of 7 degrees, with a 30% chance of rain.
And is that here?
Yes.
And where are we?
We are in Barking, Essex.
Correct, thank you.
It's been one of the biggest challenges, making this balance between how a synthetic can move and the kind of range of facial expressions and voice range that they might have, and balancing that with something that is thinking and feeling and conscious. And particularly to begin with, I've constantly found that quite a difficult balance, that in order to achieve the stakes of a scene or to feel like the audience might really understand what my character was feeling, I felt quite restricted. So one thing that was really useful in terms of finding that balance was working with William Hurt in the first series. He was playing a human, and I was watching him, and he's for a long time been one of my favourite actors, and he doesn't do any superfluous physical or facial work, nothing demonstrative. And so I just thought, right, well, that is what good acting is, and you just need to have your thoughts so clear, and if anything, it means I have to come in 100 times more prepared with the scene and with an understanding of kind of the depth of feeling or the stakes for the character, so that then when you put the synthetic stuff on top of it, you don't end up with nothing. Dan's really good at encouraging us to just trust that the audience will understand, that you don't need to add anything else. So I've tried really hard to take that into my other work, actually.
I'm going to ask you to demonstrate running. What we're looking for here, the head should be completely still, and that there's this low chopping arm action. It's similar to the athlete Michael Johnson, that very upright, very distinctive way of running. And it means that the faster the hands chop, the faster the legs move. This model will reach 26.7 miles an hour, which is similar sort of speed to Usain Bolt. So that's your standard speed of a running synth. So let's demonstrate that for me, please. So Emily, would you run to the other side of the room? Thank you. This is my funniest thing, actually, because it's something they can do for themselves and it's an experience that they take away. You're leaving the building, you know you're going to go to a tube station, and you know there's an Oyster card reader. All I want you to think about from when you leave the building is the Oyster card reader. Just image that. And the journey is completely superfluous. It's just not don't invest in it. So don't look at the lost tourist or that cute guy or girl or that obstacle. Think only of the Oyster reader, and you arrive at the Oyster reader and you place your Oyster card on it, and you feel less exhausted. The journey sort of takes care of itself. I mean, people, you get very strange responses because you're not giving anything back to people. You're not recognising them, and you're not being blank, you're just being focused.
Before the second and third series, we've come back and done a refresher with Dan, just to make sure all the movement things are back up to speed. And well, I know I have, and the other guys do as well. We'd sort of spend a bit of time at home doing the washing up as a synth again in the few weeks building up to filming and walking down the street and just trying to get it back into your body so it's not completely alien on the first day.
When the new actors come on, they're like, okay, I've done synth school with Dan and we did like a couple of hours and I might work with him again. And then I introduce them to the existing company, and when they meet someone like Gemma Chan who's in role, they suddenly think, oh my God, I've got to be that good. Because really, when you're close up to them, it is quite shocking what they can do. I'm going to power you down.
I do not wish to be powered down. I wish to continue with the test.
But the test is complete, Emily. Sorry about this bit embarrassing. Emily, I would like to power you down.
I do not wish to be powered down. I wish to continue with the test.
Sorry, this is one of the problems we have with the Emily. It's quite a willful model.
Who are the other people in this room, Dan?
They're just people who are observing the test, Emily. Would you please cooperate?
You have not introduced me to these people.
Okay, Emily. She's also a very social model, so yes, I'll introduce them to you, okay? And then I can power you down?
Yes.
Okay, so we have Suze on this camera here.
Hello.
And we have Darren.
Hello.
We have Georgina.
Hello.
We have Brogan.
Hello.
This is Tom.
Hello.
This is Rosie.
Hello.
Deborah.
Hello.
And this is Sheriff.
Hello. You may power me down.
Okay, Emily. Okay, thank you very much for the time. I hope that's been interesting for you. You're a genius, you're a genius.
That's good. Well done.